E aí, galera que tá ligadaço aqui na Stay Rock Brasil, beleza? Hoje temos um convidado do outro lado do mundo, do Down Under, diretamente da Austrália, Mark E, da banda The Skills. Mark, how are you, mate?
Hey, Fabio. Oh, good. Oh, very good. Down under, like we're down under. We're hanging. We're hanging.
Down under hanging with the kangaroos and koalas.
You know it. Yeah, yeah. It's scary here with those fuckers.
Mark,
Yeah.
I'd like to know all about the Skills, you know. I mean,
All right.
let's start off like how the band started and when.
Okay. All right. Well, if we go way back, Jennifer, bass player Gen X, and I, we met a few years before the band started, like officially. We worked, trying a bit of songwriting and stuff. But around 2009, the four of us all came together. First, Jen and I hooked up with Josh Black on drums. We were then a three-piece. Figured out we wanted to go four-piece. The idea of two girl, two guy really appealed. You know, that twin vocal, two guitar classic setup. That was what we wanted to do. So yeah, from say 2009, 2010, that's when the band officially started. That's when the Mercy Kills officially started, and that's us. That's us today. We've just celebrated the last 10 years with X, which is a compilation out through Golden Robot Records. You know, just they selected a bunch of stuff. You know, like a song or two from each release, each of the 6 or 7 releases we had, and they've put that out. But yeah, Melbourne 4-piece, dirty rock and roll, sleaze punk, kick you in the teeth and give you some nice melodies to sing.
I hear you.
Something to whistle.
And Mark, the band is still in the original formation, right?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I mean, 10 years together already, eh?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I know lots of bands, man, after like 2-3 years, they, this and this and then they just, but 10 years together, man. Congrats, seriously.
Hey, Fabio, and look, we're first and foremost, we're good mates, We still go out to dinner and hang out and stuff, that's, I think there's always been a high level of respect for each other's interests and musical tastes and what everyone's going to bring to the band. We've always just split everything 4 ways, songwriting, anything like that. It's always been just across the line, just unspoken rule. We just all cool with it, and it's because we know that's longevity. It's not easy to keep things together. So we've always just kept it like a lot of respect, even split with everything, songwriting and good respect for anyone brings something on board, great, we'll check it out. If it's good, it's good, but still.
So there's nothing like this in the Mercy Kills. Like, okay, I write songs, you compose song. The melody.
No way,
everybody...
way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, always. Just if anyone's got an idea, we work it, we thrash it out, we check it out. And we really enjoy that. Say I'll bring in a verse. And say, right, hey, anyone got an idea, for a chorus or, we're always throwing into each other's stuff because we know it's going to end up being like a combined effort, and that charges you to bring your shit,
together.
Yeah.
And Mark, still talking like in this case, let's talk way back then. How did you start playing music, man? And what made you to get into music?
Wow, I hated music at school. I was like, I fucking hated. Well, no, it wasn't the music I hated. I love music. I hated the teacher. yeah. But I was, I wasn't like a big like sporto sort of guy. I found, you know, this guy brought an electric guitar to school one day, you know, and it blew my mind. You know, there's this thing with knobs and strings and shit, and I don't know, it just appealed to me, and I fell in with this group of guys at school that, you know, yeah, were so like-minded, that, you know, found something in well, it was an alternative. I think I switched on to an alternative culture, something I could call my own. And around sort of, you know, like 13, 14, I just was like a sponge for rock and roll. You know, it gave me something I could just cling on to, and you know, like a belief system. For me, that's what it was. You know, yeah, just in my life at the time, it was something I could just grab onto and really get into. And hey, for whatever reason, that's what kicked me off. And yeah, you know, and then I just loved being in a band. It was always about getting together with other people and, you know, putting something together. And that went, you know, that's just, I've, you know, done that for years and years, you know. But
gotcha.
Always, you know, you finding that right lineup. You know, we try, don't we? Whatever you're in, you know, whatever business you're in, whatever ship you're in, you always trying to get that right lineup. And I guess the Mercy Kills, now we've been together 10 years. It works, and I think we're all really, really happy with how it works, and we're still rolling. And you know,
yeah, that unfortunately that happened to you guys, but on the other hand, you guys had, like, you know, guys sign up with the Golden Robert record. What a crazy name to say. Golden Robert Records.
Golden Robert Records. Yeah. Well, the Mark Alexander, the guy that started the label, has this story where he had there was this like toy robot, like a wind-up robot or something at the first meeting or something they had. And yeah, it was like they named the label after the like a little golden robot, or he was given I think someone gave him a present or so, anyway, but there was a golden robot in there. And I think it's on his desk.
And the label is an Australian company, right?
Yeah, so yeah, it's out of Sydney, but yeah, they're doing it's a new sort of, it's a new take, a new angle on what a label is and does. You know, they're a global label, so they've got an office in Tokyo, they've got an office in Paris, they've got an office in London, office in Los Angeles, an office in Sydney. Yeah, and representatives and PR in each city, and they are signing a lot of bands and really working with a lot of bands to really just to get people's music out there. You know, so and yeah,
And how did you guys got signed up by them? How, if you can walk through the process?
Well, you know, we'd heard of the label. You know, being a Sydney label, we had heard of them. You know, and we were contacted. We were emailed one day. I think a friend of someone knew someone and who'd mentioned us, and the label were like, oh yeah, we know those guys. Anyway, they basically just said, look, would you be interested in talking about, you know, doing something, you know, would you be, you know, and we were like, well, cool. Yeah, let's talk. Let's see what do you got to offer. And so they proposed, you know, that we sign up, and this is what they can do for us. They loved our, you know, they said we've got quality. They liked what we'd already done. They liked our, you know, the recordings we'd done, the videos, the you know, we'd been together for that time. You know, we'd toured, you know, we'd done this and this, and they were like, hey, we think we can help you guys out. And so we signed up, you know.
Oh, that was a nice marriage.
Very cool. Yeah. And look, and it's great. We've been getting you know, reviews. It's you know, great to get reviews from, you know, from the States or Brazil or London or in Paris, or, you know, which we would no way would have got from, like, if we just continued doing what we were doing. So.
And you guys will release a new album with them, right?
We do. We're writing for a new album. Well, yeah, we're writing for a new album, which will probably go out at the start of next year. But up until now, especially with COVID, you know, they've released some of our back catalogue. The most recent being the New Rule EP, 5 tracks. That was the first thing we ever recorded. it never officially went out through a label or through distribution or anything. So we pressed, I think, a couple of hundred copies and sold them for like merch at gigs, and then they were gone, and nothing ever happened. That was it. It was like, I don't even have a copy. You know, it's like, if you've got one out there, send it in. But yeah, so they had the idea, hey, well, let's do like let's commemorate like the 10-year thing with you know, well, re-releasing that first thing you ever did. So that's really cool. They've just put that out. And then in October they released X, which was a compilation, which I mentioned, you know, so that was super cool as well. And some videos, we did some videos in isolation. We just green screened and stuff like that. We did a Zoom video for Alone. You know, we got like the 4 screens, you know, for like, and we're all doing our, you know, that's sort of pretty cool. Just hanging out in our like kitchens and stuff. But the other 2 clips were green screened. Yeah, all through COVID. So we couldn't go to a studio. We couldn't record. We couldn't film. We couldn't gig. So like everyone, yeah. So yeah, we just did what we could. They put it out, and luckily, yeah, we could keep things rolling, which was fantastic.
Mark, from what I've heard, Australia is like corona-free at the time. It's true, right?
Well,
no more lockdowns. Everything's like running normally again.
Pretty well, Fabio. Yeah. Apart from an occasional, you know, international flight, someone may have to quarantine, you know. But it's I know in Melbourne we haven't had there's been no locally acquired cases for over a month. So everything is opening up again. Bars, restaurants. There's still some limited capacity in larger spaces, and they're putting on outdoor festivals and things. But you know, yeah, it is open. Yeah, there's a really great gig happening next to where I live in St Kilda in Melbourne tomorrow night. There's a bunch of great bands, you know, like with the Church.
I'm jealous.
You know, have you heard of the Church?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So the Church are playing pretty well as we speak right now in St Kilda on the foreshore, outside stage. Yeah, tomorrow night there's a whole bunch of bands. You Am I, the Magic Dirt, Dallas Crane, Casanovas. That's all happening tomorrow night. That's all outside, open air, on the beach. You know, full staging. I know that we got a show happening this Saturday night in the city, in the CBD in Melbourne. I think it's about 1,000 capacity room, but I think they got to bust it down to maybe like 500 people. So yeah,
still great. But in comparison with what's happening in Europe, Brazil, and the United States, man, where it's nothing. It's like zero.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky.
Look, I really know it. Look, it's we're all going to get through this. You know, you guys, you know, it will dissipate. But yeah, look, we are lucky here. You know, it's dropped right off. I think it's been managed well. So thoughts to you and everyone in Europe and everywhere that's doing it hard still. You know,
in Europe, it's been almost a year and a half, let's say. I mean, lots of lockdowns. They take like, let's say, a break, a month. I mean, usually like summer, May, July, August. I mean, with a lot of restrictions, and then after that, poof, lockdown after lockdowns. You know, and the venues just like, I mean, the venue owners, they're like, okay, what am I gonna do? Some venues are closed like for 4 or 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Borders are closed, you know, sometimes they open, sometimes they close, and then bands cannot travel. I mean, for example, all the big festivals now, they didn't happen last year. They won't happen this year because, I mean, for example, let's say if you guys tour in Europe, and then you guys have to go, let's say, from Germany to Austria, Germany to Belgium, and then the borders close, or you cannot even fly in, and then, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
Chaos. And I hope chaos is over soon, because it's costly, for the music industry
Yeah.
here. I mean, for everyone, I mean, bands, promoters, press, everybody just like, just like this.
Yeah. 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 Crazy, 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 Fuck.
True.
What planet are we living on? Like.
Good question, Mark. What planet are we living in?
What
honestly.
the hell?
True.
It's so surreal.
Unfortunately, it is. Unfortunately, it is. And Mark, still talking about gigs. You guys have some gigs lined up for this year, right?
Yeah.
The one on
this
Saturday,
is well.
and
This.
then
Sorry.
you guys have the one coming on Saturday, and then any more gigs like on the pipeline.
So it's starting to. We're starting to get some traction again. The show this Saturday will be the first time we have played in 14 months. So we are really can't wait to get on stage. But yeah, one thing that's happening with no international acts, of course, coming in and not being able to say come over to Europe or America or everyone's looking inward, of course. So the Australian touring circuit it's getting a bit of a shot in the arm. In the 80s and the 90s, or in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, the Australian touring circuit was really, really alive and busy and vibrant. A lot of support, which it sort of died off, in the last 15 or 20 years. That's sort of starting to. Obviously there's a bit of a demand there. So we've found we're now getting offers out in rural areas. Just in the last week, we've locked in a couple of shows, just like a couple of hours out of Melbourne, 2 hours, 3 hours out, which is a good sign for original music. Venues that would just have poking machines and maybe not put much interest on booking live music, or they just have like the local cover band playing or something. Suddenly they're starting to book like a 4 or 5 band lineup, original bands, and promoters are starting to get behind it, and so that sort of stuff's that's starting to happen, as it will. Of course, I know it'll happen in other countries in Europe, and when you guys can get out again. But yeah, we are now being able to, now that the doors are opening again. We're booking shows, man. We're booking shows. So yeah.
I mean, you guys are pretty much ahead of the whole world. I mean, Australia and New Zealand. You guys had the Corona thing. You guys dealt with the problem. You guys went through severe lockdown. And now you guys are like, eating like the nice piece of the pie with what do you call, with whipped cream on it. And us, we're not even eating the crust of the pie.
Man.
Sucks, but Mark. Tell me, yes, carry on.
Yeah, I know. Look, we're very, very lucky that the geographically, as I said, that has played a huge part in this whole ordeal. So but look, certainly we're not taking it for granted. Yes, restrictions have been pretty well taken away. Things are getting back to some sort of normal. I guess we're all going to have to get our digital passports, aren't we? But look, I think there's a bubble with New Zealand. You mentioned New Zealand. That's probably going to be the first international travel that certainly between, that Australian bands are going to be able to do, I think, and New Zealand bands. Yes, we will start to be able to have a bit of a touring circuit there. Not sure how long it's going to take before we can come over and see you. Hopefully not too long.
Still talking. I want to know a little bit more of the style of the band. How do all of you guys came up with this style? Because you guys sound punk, but not hardcore punk. kind of like the 80s punk mixed with rock, mixed,
Yeah.
it also this Australian sound that only Australian bands can have, like AC/DC or um
Yeah.
um
Angels,
yeah,
Rose
Oingo Boingo,
Tattoo.
this
Yeah.
guitar thing, this that when you listen to a band, like, oh, you're from Australia, you guys have this unique sound. So walk me
Wow.
through like how you guys got the sound of the Merskills.
Okay. Well, look, guitar wise, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Natalie and I, being the guitar players, our favorite bands. I mean, look, fuck, I love everything from Nine Inch Nails to AC/DC to the Cars, Sonic Youth, Joy Division. I mean, bring it. As a guitar player, it's the Cult. I'm a chord guy, so it's Billy Duffy, it's Malcolm Young. It's just good, tough rock and roll guitar. Same with Nat. Jen on bass, Gen X. She's a big '80s kid. She's Joy Division, Bauhaus. Sonic Youth. And Josh is he's just a solid drummer. He's a little more slick. He's loving sort of he's coming from In Excess and Duran and a little more.
Wow.
So he's sort of he digs his production. He digs his good good sort of pop song, but still going to kick you. So I think we and because we're all always wanting to see what each other's thinking and what each other's ideas are, it's just got this melting pot that's sort of come together.
That's because when I listen to you guys, I mean the songs they sent me today, I was listening more and more, and I could capture okay, there's a lot of punk, of course, rock and roll, some pop music, kind of all grinded together, and I was like, how did they got this nice mixture?
Thanks, Fabio. Thank you. And I think the vocals can tie it all together too. That's great. If there was say just one singer, it may not have worked as well. But because we're all we've got that really that texture, that vocal texture of all of us. It bonds it all together somehow. Yeah. But no, thank you. That's awesome. That's so cool, and that's great to hear. That's how we feel about it. And
I mean that's what because I've been following you guys for a month and a half or a bit more.
Yeah.
Because let me also tell you how I found you guys. I was looking for Dizzy Reed. I was talking to Dizzy Reed, the guy from Guns N' Roses, PR.
Yeah.
And then she told me well, you have to talk to Golden Robot, not Robert, Golden Robot Records. Yeah, Robot Records.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, since I'm here, you know what? Let me look at the whole roast. Choo, 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 the Merskills. I was like, the name sounds interesting. What is that thing? Let me click.
Yeah.
And then I was watching you guys on YouTube, because that's, for me, when I pick a band to interview, or the first thing is YouTube. I look at a live show because I want to see how the energy of the band is. And if I like the energy, okay, boom. And then I go, okay, let me go through the normal procedures. Look at the Facebook, look at the all the social media stuff. But for me, the visual live shows it gets me. And I was like, wow, man, these guys are wild, These kangaroos, these koala boys are wild, And then I was like, and then I get in contact with you guys, and then I was like, okay. And then after a month talking here and there, we're here now,
Yeah, man. Hey, well, and thank you, Fabio. No, thanks for checking us out. Thanks for finding us and digging it.
Pleasure.
And great to talk to you. And I'm glad you like it. I know you get it. It's great. Yeah. So
true, man. True. Mark, my man, it was a huge pleasure talking to you.
Back at you, Fabio.
Man, and I hope, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if, as soon as this whole situation clears, this Corona, blah, blah, blah thing, Well, I hope I can bump to you guys in Australia or maybe. Oh, man, we live in Corona and you drink Corona.
We're coming to find you.
Man, I'll be waiting for, because I mean I really want to see you guys either in Australia or in Europe. I mean, as soon as whole Corona is over,
Oh
for
yeah.
sure, man, we have to buddy
Yeah.
up because I want to see you guys live.